This video will cover create a rhythm design for Arts 101 2D design using Adobe Illustrator. Begin by placing your drawn motif onto the scanner bed and closing the cover. Then find the application called Preview. Under the File menu, choose the option Import using the scanner. This will bring up a menu box. To gain more advanced settings, click on the Show Details button. Change the resolution to 300 dpi if it isn't already applied. Set the format to JPEG and save the file to the desktop. If automatically you have two or more pre-selected areas, click on those areas and hit the delete key. You may now click and drag over your motif to create a marquee. You can modify the scale and even rotate the marquee to fit the motif best. Once this is done, hit scan. When the scan is complete, save the image as a JPEG, naming it after yourself, and storing it to the desktop. Close out the scanning menu and close Preview. Open Adobe Illustrator. Under the File menu, choose New. In the New Document menu, change the width to 10.5 inches and the height to 8 inches. Be sure the raster effects are at 300 ppi. The white space on the gray background will be at a ratio you just typed in. This white space is called an artboard. You can build imagery in this space or in the gray surroundings, but the artboard is where you will place your images once they are built and ready to print or export as JPEGs. From the Tool menu, select the Shape tool. It initially appears as a rectangle, though you can select other shapes by clicking quickly the mouse once into the space. We will create a specific size. Don't drag the cursor. A menu box will appear. Type in 10 inches for width and 2.5 inches for the height and click OK. Now choose the Select tool at the top of the Tool menu. This can also be accessed by hitting the B key on your keyboard. Now go to the File menu, find Place, and select it. In the dialog menu that appears, select the desktop, find your motif or design, and select it. You will see a small image appear beside your cursor once you've done this. Click to make the image appear within the workspace. It should appear much like the scan. You can move the scan around with the Select tool, check its scale, and rotate it. For the next step though, place the scan motif into the gray area. This will help us see the figure-ground relationship while we do a vector trace. To do this, the motif has to be selected with the blue crosshairs appearing across its face. At the top of the screen, you will see a button called Image Trace. Click it. The menu box called Trace Panel allows you to manipulate the results. It's located by the View Tracing Result button, again at the top of the screen. Manipulating the threshold allows more or less imagery to be traced. You can wing open the Advanced tab and select Ignore White, and this will turn off the white traced path. Paths are any element, visible or invisible, present in the workspace. In regards to shapes, paths can be seen as fills or strokes. Fills are the shapes and their colors, strokes are the outlines. We have made fills from our scans. To make the trace permanent, select the motif and hit the Expand button at the top of the workspace bar. The image will glow with blue lines and points. To separate elements from one another, right-click on the mouse and select Ungroup. Now click on the negative space to deactivate your selection. When you select the individual paths, now they should activate independently. Drag over the unwanted elements and press the delete key to eliminate them. Select the eraser tool from the tool menu. You can use this to remove other parts and clean up the contours of your intended motif. Now let's move our motif to the picture plane area above. We will put the original outside the artboard to begin. You can make copies of this motif by selecting it, then pressing down and holding Alt-Option on your keyboard. Click on the motif and drag it to the right of the original. Let go of the mouse button first and the Alt-Option button second to establish the copy. Do this multiple times. Notice the smart guides. They'll help you locate each new motif along the line. You can select the grouping by clicking on one, then holding the Shift key down, click on More. With these selected, you can manipulate them all at once. You can also do this by carefully clicking and dragging over several at once. Note you can use the arrow keys to move them too. You can make a copy of the group and the background shape together. Begin this by selecting over all of them with the Select tool. Now hold the Alt-Option key down and drag the group down below to make a copy. Not only can you make regular repetition designs, you can launch easily into irregular rhythm designs. Use the Select tool on individual motifs to change their scale, proportion, or even rotate them. If the motif is located within the confines of the background shape, be sure to select the motif first before you start to erase it. If you don't do this, you may accidentally erase the background shape and thus your picture plane. You can manipulate points along the path of your motifs by using the Direct Select tool. That's the white arrow. You can also select this by hitting A on your keyboard. Another reminder, you can zoom in and out by using the Command key along with the plus key or the minus key. So let's zoom out for a moment. Go to the Tool menu and find the Artboard tool. We can use this to make a copy of the artboard and its contents. That way we can continue making iterations from these materials. We can crop these elements by creating a new shape of the same scale as the background shape. When they're made, position them over top the original picture plane that's in the background. Now select over all of them, the foreground shape, the motifs, and the background shape. While this is selected, right-click on the top shape and select Clipping Mask from the menu. You can do this for each image. If you wish, you can make an artboard by selecting the Artboard tool and dragging out the artboard shape to the scale that you would like. Select the Artboard tool and then drag out the scale of the shape of the artboard you wish. Note the numbers indicating the scale. Let go to establish the artboard when you have reached the desired scale. Of course, you can make the artboard in the previous way shown, and then select the interior contents of the artboard. Eliminate them by hitting the Delete key. If you need to re-establish the picture plane's edges, make a new shape as you had before, but then flip the contrast via the palette boxes, switching fill and strokes contrast. Now the outside is black and the inside is clear. Once you have all your work done, we will make JPEGs from these designs. You can do this by going to File menu, select Export. Under Save As, name your files after your last name, then use any subcategory you see fit. Select the JPEG format. Check the box Use Artboards. And then finally save to the desktop. Once this is done, be sure to copy your work to your jump drive or to Turnstile.